What an incredible market this is. Best ever for sellers. Imagine that, selling homes in a matter of days or hours. And selling it for list price or even over list price. But it's also a great market for buyers. They can take advantage of historically low interest rates, and that's cheap money. And that cheap money allows you to buy a larger house for the same monthly payment. So sounds perfect, doesn't it? Unfortunately, though, the market doesn't last forever. Nothing does. So let's take a moment and see what's next. I love metaphors, so to explain where the market is headed, today we're going sailing. And I get to be your captain. Imagine that. So in sailing, before you cast off, it's prudent to know what the weather conditions are. And if you're thinking about buying or selling, it's best to know what the market conditions are. So let's take a look at them. In a normal market, it's balanced. It would be smooth sailing, easy going. And for sellers, they're able to sell a home at a reasonable price and in a reasonable length of time. For buyers, there's plenty of inventory, certainly not like today, and there's plenty of time to find just the right house. Again, not like today. In short, in a balanced market, it's not stressed, sailing is easy. But now let's look at a buyer's market. Everything changes. The market is out of balance, as you can see here, out of balance. And it creates, being out of balance, chaos and stress. Since there are too few buyers, there's no wind to keep the boat moving, no wind in the sails. So both buyers and their agents find themselves dead in the proverbial water. In this condition, homes sit on the market, and they sit on too long, and when they do, prices decline. And eventually, sellers give up, take their homes off the market. And agents get frustrated, and they too have a mass exodus out of our industry. So that's a buyer's market. Now let's look at the seller's market that we're in today. Just like with the buyer's market, it's out of balance. And it's today, it's way out of balance. We're sailing in the, again, take a look, the rough seas. And this causes challenges and stress for the buyers and sellers, for both. And most importantly, it's stressful for realtors. It really is. So homes are selling so fast, but they're actually selling too fast, and that's creating the problem. Buyers can't find a home, and when they do, multiple offers. And homes are selling above market. How do I know they're selling above market? Because when buyers are desperate, they're waiving appraisals. And that means if they're paying above appraised value, that the sales price is above market. Here's the facts for you. In zip code 77441, the average sales price in May of 2020, just a year ago, the average sales price was $432,000. But last month, that rose to $478,000, almost $500,000 as an average sales price. That's over a 10% increase in 1 year and during COVID. Okay? Amazing. More revealing is the price per square foot. In May of 2020, it was $136 a foot, very reasonable. Today, last May, it was $152. That's a 12% increase over in just 1 year. And this is why both buyers and sellers should be considering what's coming next. Because if we're in the best market now, what follows it? That's why you need an experienced captain, here I am, okay, to navigate troubled waters. In this market, both buyers and sellers need to make a careful decision. For buyers, it's not only finding the right home today, that's challenging enough, but you also need to make sure that you're going to be pleased with your decision long after you buy. For sellers, it's time to sell. Yet, that requires an agent to list your home at the right price. If not, you don't get multiple offers, and by not getting multiple offers, it sells for less. And you have to have an agent that has the ability to negotiate multiple offers effectively because you want the best that you can get. So if the video's not enough for you, at the end of this newsletter, there's even more information for you. Imagine that. So again, back to what's next. Here's what's coming. Experts are predicting the interest rates are going to rise. When they rise, it slows the market. So the market is going to slow. Then new home builders, they are frantically trying to build homes as fast as they can. With that, there'll be more supply, and more supply will reduce somewhat down, or will provide downward pressure on prices. In addition to that, lumber and other products that are way overpriced will start to come down. When those costs comes down, the new home prices will eventually, they won't right away, but they'll eventually follow suit, which means lower prices. And new homes lead the market and resales follow, so eventually there'll be downward pressure on resales as well. Then what we have is, once the federal government, once they stop spending or pouring in trillions of dollars into the economy will slow. Foreclosures? Absolutely. As the market slows, many buyers that purchased homes with little, or imagine this, no money down, you can get a VA loan with no money down, they'll be in trouble. In addition to that, when the government foreclosure forbearance program ends, there'll be a lot more because they're all in backlog. Okay, so this will add even more to the supply. Just think back 2008. You'll have downward pressure on prices and you'll have more supply. In short, we will transition from our current seller's market. The question is, where are we headed? So what do we do today? First, number one, since this is the best market ever, okay? It's the best market ever for both buyers and sellers. They should both take advantage of the market today because it'd be unfortunate for both not to do so. So both buyers and sellers should also be careful though, because you know you're buying at a high or you're selling at a high. So what comes next? So what you need is a careful understanding of what market conditions are in waiting. Are we going to transition smoothly to a balanced market? That would be ideal. Or is the correction more dramatic and we move more towards the buyer's market that I mentioned previously? The answer is, we don't know yet, but it's why you need an experienced agent to advise you so that you know the forecast before you make a commitment, whether you're buying or selling. But here's the good news. Even when the market changes, which it will, there is plenty of opportunity and plenty of good news, though, for both buyers and sellers, as long as you live in Fulshear, Texas. Quoting Ronald Reagan, Fulshear is the shining city on the hill, and it will remain one of the bright spots, actually not only in Houston, but in the nation. Why? Because nothing's going to change. It's still one of the most desirable places to call home. It has some of the best communities in the nation. Buyers, we have one of the wealthiest zip codes in the nation, so they can absorb market fluctuations far better than anywhere else. And nothing, absolutely nothing is going to stop the growth here. That means our market will be much more stable than most anywhere else in the nation. No place like home. And that's all good news. But as a caution, there's a yellow flag that's up. So be prepared for the storm clouds that are on the horizon. Not here yet, just on the horizon. So as always, hopefully this was helpful, but I appreciate you watching. Thank you very much. Bon voyage.